Hey everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. All right, so we've got a bonus video today, my December daily. No prompts today, and this is something that I pretty much knew I was going to need to do from the beginning of even before I started working in this journal, and that is deal with the spine of this book. Yeah. This journal has gotten chunky, and I know if I don't do this now, it's just going to get harder and harder to work in. And so I am trying something that I've never tried before, and I'm really hoping that it turns out. And as you can see, I'm getting right to it. So what I'm going to do is separate the book block, the block of pages, along with the end papers. And I don't know how I'm able to get the end paper here so well separated. I'm using a kitchen knife. It's just a butter knife. And I'm using the not serrated part of it. I don't have the kind that aren't serrated. But it's working really well for this back cover. I was able to get pretty much the whole thing. I wish I could say it worked as well on the front, and maybe I was less patient. Could have been part of the problem. I might not want to admit that, but I think that's the case. Obviously, as you can see, my prompt list is going to need to be redone. I'm going to have to just kind of scrap that one and do a new one. Yeah, I should have been more patient when I did the front cover. Probably what I should have done is gotten up, taken a break, and come back to do the front cover. But in the end, it'll be okay. I've got enough paper to work with that I'll be all right as far as keeping it strong and secure. So at this point, I'm just trying to get rid of as much loose paper from the back, well, from each cover as I can, because as if it's cleaner, that's going to be better. And now I'm just measuring to see what the width is that I'm working with right now to kind of help me determine how big I should make it. Really, I didn't need to do this, I don't think, because I just kind of I winged it anyway. Yeah, I tried to find videos out there of anyone doing this, and I may have missed them, but I couldn't find anyone doing this exact thing. If you know of anyone who's done this before, please share. Or if you're watching this and you've done this before, please share your video, because I would love to watch it. I just kind of made it up as I went. I mean, obviously with a lot of knowledge of how to make a journal, because I've made so many journals and I've watched so many videos of other people doing similar types of things. So I had a really good idea of what to do already. But yeah, I could never find anything quite exactly like this. So, all right, so what I'm doing is I went and found a piece that cardboard piece, that's from a Coke box, so Coca-Cola, your 12 can pack of Coke, that's all that is. And I had that pre-cut and ready for whatever. It just happened to be the exact right height for what I needed. Basically, I just shaved off a little bit from the bottom. And I thought it was the right width. And so here I'm just going to join the two covers. Well, I cut the cover in half in the middle right there. Wanted to preserve as much of that original cover as I could, just for the stability of it all. I'm going to cover the whole thing with some fabric in the end, so you're never going to see that anyway, which I was going to do from the get-go anyway. I obviously don't want the cover of that book on my December daily journal. It's not cute. So, yeah, using Fabri-Tac here, putting as much on as I can. I really want this to stick as well as I can. And then lining it up and joining the three pieces together in that way. And so as you can see, I've basically doubled the size of the spine. And you'll see in a minute, I didn't need to quite go that wide. It is slightly too wide. It's a little crazy right now. So yeah, I was just kind of eyeballing it and realizing that's too much. So I'm going to pull off the back cover here. Thankfully, the glue hadn't completely set yet. And the scissors that I'm using there, those are like the Tim Holtz scissors where you can cut things that have glue on them. Is it titanium blades? They're the Fiskars non-stick blade. But yeah, you can cut things that have glue on them or cut through glue with those, and you can get that off. So don't use regular scissors if you're going to do that, because you'll ruin them. But yeah, I'm taking off about an inch or so of that middle piece that I added, and that's what I'm working on right now. I'm just trying to get a straight line, and you can really see my face in the glare of that ruler there. Hi guys. So normally I wouldn't use scissors for something like this. I would try to use a paper cutter, or better yet, a ruler and a straight edge blade. But I don't know. It didn't need to be exactly perfect, because we're just gluing it to an existing spine. And so yeah. Oh, and I'll mention too, typically if I was building a spine, I would put at least 2 of those cardboard pieces together. But really I found that, yeah, and I didn't even cut it straight. It works fine in the end. You'll never know. And I think I ended up having to cut it again because I realized it's not straight. Kind of veered off to the right there at the top. What was I just saying? Oh, doubling up the cardboard. In this case, it was better that I didn't, because I kind of wanted it to be slightly flexible. The block of pages wasn't originally glued into the spine, or sewn into the spine, I guess, originally. And that's usually why you would want a thicker, more sturdy, I guess, spine of your book. Really what I'm adding is a lot thicker and sturdier than what was originally there. So in that sense, it's fine. It worked out perfectly. So yeah, I got little bits of glue everywhere. Trying to get those off so they don't stick forever and ruin it. All right, so I pulled some fabrics from downstairs in the basement, some fabric scraps, so that I can use them in the journal, and then a few of these other pieces of fabric. I really like this one. I wanted to use it either on the inside or the outside of the spine, so I'm not going to use it right here in this moment, but I figured since it's all laid out, I might as well cut it to the size that I need it, and so that's what I'm doing here. And then that other piece of fabric off to the right is actually what I'm going to use to join the pieces together. So what I'm going to do is do exactly what I just did, measure it out, and size it for the space, making sure I've got at least an inch or so on either side of the spine, so that I can glue the whole thing together and make it sturdy so it won't fall apart. And I'll do that on the inside and the outside. Alrighty, so I'm pretty happy with that. I would prefer a curved spine if at all possible, but in this case, I'm just happy with something that's sturdy and gives me more room for my journal. And curved spine is extra in this particular case. So at this point now, I need to start thinking about not decorating the spine, but getting my book pages back into it and securing it that way. So I'm needing to put my middle of my book block directly into the middle of the spine, and so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm finding the middle of my spine and drawing a line where I know that you're not going to see it because the book will eventually cover that, and then drawing the same line on the bottom or the other side, and then I'll use those to line up my book when I put it in and make sure it stays in the middle. That's the trickiest part of this whole process, to be very completely honest with you. If you have an extra set of hands available, someone who can hold your book block in place while you do what I'm doing here with my right hand, that's going to really help you out. But, you know, obviously you can do it without that, as I'm showing you here. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting a ton of glue. Use more than you think you need, but don't don't make a river of glue. You don't need that much, but you obviously want this to be super secure. And thankfully I had that basically full back page cover that I could use to glue back down onto my book cover. And it's obviously not going to cover the whole thing. I didn't think through that, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. At the moment, I'm making sure everything is straight and centered and where I want it to be. And then it's not dry yet, so I'm having to hold on to that book block while I do my other things. So here I'm like, well, I can't let it go because it's going to glue the book to the spine if I just leave that glue there. So I just found a random scrap of paper and I'm covering up that glue. I'll tear that away later when it's all dried and cover it with something else. But for now, I needed to be able to lay that down. So, okay, now that was the easy part. That was the easy side because I had that whole piece of paper left. Now I got to worry about the front page where I really didn't have much to work with. And so I'm just now trying to think through the order of operations, really. Like, what order should I go in? Oh, and then I'm realizing here I needed to get some more glue on this side. For whatever reason, I didn't glue this piece very well, and so just adding a little bit more glue there to make sure it's really stuck as close to the actual book pages as possible, so that if you give it less room for play, room for it to move around and jostle around, then I think more sturdy it will be, right? So like if there's a bunch of space that's not glued to the cover of the book, it's more likely that it will rip away at that point, I think. So as you're using it, but at the same time, you don't want to glue the actual spine of your book pages to the back of the book. You need it to be able to move around a little bit. So it's kind of a little tricky. But yeah, so all right, at this point, what am I even doing right now? I think I don't even know what I'm doing. I think I'm looking for something to decorate it with. Yeah. I guess that's what I was doing. Kind of took a break from the stressful stuff to look for pretty papers, I suppose. Really though, I needed something sturdier than this paper to glue to that. And so earlier you saw me looking at the Tim Holtz paper, and that's cardstock, and that's what I'm going to use to glue the front page, the front of the journal, to the front cover. So there actually was a piece in here that I had specifically wanted to use, and that was that green marble paper. So now I just need to find that. And in the process, look at this gorgeous paper as we go. And of course, it's one of the last ones, but that means we get to look at all the pretty papers in between. So there we go. All right, got my paper. Now I need to make sure it's the exact right size. This isn't, I mean, you could fudge it a little bit, but I wanted to make sure it was the right size. So taking a little bit of care here to line it up and get that tear line correct. And yeah, I put down my older cutting mat so that my newer cutting mat wouldn't get so much glue stains on it right away. Since I knew I was going to be using a lot of Fabri-Tac and stuff here. So I decided not to edge this. I decided to keep it from being a distressed edge, and I'm glad that I chose that. All right, so right now I'm thinking about how I need to glue this down, and because I want to be able to see the marbled side. So just, yeah, taking an extra minute before I do anything permanent here. Making sure it's really what I want. Yeah, just adding the glue here so I can get this glued down to this little piece. And then that'll give me more to work with, like we had on the end of on the back page. Little fragments. But it worked out. It really did. I'm kind of surprised. So it was a happy accident, I guess. And yeah, sad to lose that typewriter page. And you'll notice there are opportunities later in the series where I could have used my typewriter for lists, and then I didn't. That's because I decided I need to get my typewriter looked at. It was eating the ribbon. The ribbon was getting caught somehow and putting holes in the paper when I was typing, like O's. And so it obviously needs some maintenance. So I decided just to give it a break and not use it anymore. So in the end, I did put together a new list, but I just did it now that I have a printer again, thankfully. Gosh, I love having a printer again. It's been really crappy not having one that works great, to be very honest with you. I went ahead and just designed a new December daily list in Canva and printed that out, and I'm really happy with it. So it turned out pretty cute, actually. I'm glad I did that. So, all right, so now let's repeat the process that we did in the back, but for the front. And I'm just kind of seeing where the book falls or wants to fall on the spine, because I kind of want to work with it, even though it can't be completely haphazard. It needs to be naturally falling where it wants to, or it's going to constantly be a problem. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And then I'm also kind of trying to figure out, okay, after I glue this down, what's my next step going to be? How am I going to kind of make it work? So easily finding the center, because all I have to do is pick it up now that the back side is glued down. But you can see I grab my knife and I'm just kind of scoring that cardstock right where the spine and the cover would bend. And that was kind of the issue. And I wanted to do that before I put the glue down to make it easier for myself later. So I'm really glad that I did that, because I think that really saved the entire thing. Honestly, I think if I hadn't done that, I would have had to tear the entire thing off and start over and try and figure out how to do it the way that I did it here. And I'm not going to say it's perfect, because it's not. There is a little bit of weirdness even now when I'm using it, where it kind of wants to open funny. But I think that's just because I'm using cardstock instead of that thinner paper that's on the original side, on the back side. But it's okay. This isn't something I'm selling. If it was something I was selling, I would have redone it. But it's working out fine for me here. So, and then at the same time, I'm realizing I'm gonna kind of need to curve that spine a little bit myself, so that it will fall a little bit more naturally. So as soon as this glue kind of sets up and dries, then I can really play with it more. So at the moment, I'm just making sure I get it set where I want it. And then I'm going to really finish gluing it. And then what I'm going to do is put some heavy stuff on it and leave it overnight to really finish gluing and kind of getting set. I think that's another really important thing that I did. And I'm really glad that I did that because I didn't have fear of it coming apart as I kept working on it. You know how sometimes when the Fabri-Tac is still a little bit tacky or not completely set up and it's still a little bit moving in ways that you think maybe it shouldn't. I didn't have that issue because I made sure to set it and forget it. Little Ronco food dehydrator. Or rotisserie there. So this is the next day. And now I can really kind of handle it a little bit more. Of course, cleaning all the glue off the page. And yeah, you can see it's still not quite perfect, but it'll do. So, all right. So that was the hard part. I think I successfully, and yeah, I'm just kind of seeing how things lie. It's a lot more easy to look through the book now. And so now we get to decorate. So there's a few pieces, obviously, that need to be covered. The birds, forgot I even had that. It was in my stash from using all the Christmas stuff. And it was the exact perfect height. I guess I must have cut it for a different page that I didn't use it on, but it's the perfect size and it makes the perfect little pocket for my new prompt list. So that was a win-win. And then this was just a scrap of trim, and I love the color. It's kind of the perfect color for this journal with the blue and the green main colors. And where I'm putting it, I would never put it in a regular journal in that spot right next to the spine right there. But because I had expanded this spine, there is a little bit of a gap there. So it actually works out pretty good. It's kind of the perfect spot for it. So it's a nice way to kind of intro the whole journal, I think. And so just adding some Fabri-Tac there to make sure it's nice and secure. And I'll just go ahead and put it down, making sure I use some scratch paper so I don't get Fabri-Tac all over my clean workspace that I just cleaned. But yeah, I really love that color combination. It's really cool. It's not overly Christmassy yet, but it will get that way, so don't worry, in later videos. All right, so here is my newly created December daily prompt list, and the perfect size to just tuck right in there. I thought Maybe I wanted it like that, and I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, I had paper clipped those pages together because of the glitter page at the next page over. I didn't want all the glitter getting everywhere. Yeah, that I'm uncovering right here. And thankfully it worked. But yeah, it's still kind of funky. The spine sitting not quite right. But like I said, that's something that I'll just deal with and move on. So, all right. And then this envelope, I wanted to use this for my very last prompt that I haven't even filmed yet. But I figured since I needed to cover up this little spot on the back cover anyway, I found this other scratch piece of paper that I really liked. I went ahead and glued down that envelope anyway. So the last prompt in my series is going to be a letter to myself for 2026. So I'll put my letter in there and do that on the very end, at the very end of my journal. So yeah, just prepping this, and then we'll get to move on to the more fun stuff, which is decorating the front cover. Woohoo! Okay, so just looking at this front cover again, I'm obviously going to have to put another piece of fabric. If it's this one, the Tim Holtz one, or maybe another of the Snowflake, I'm not sure. I really want to use this Tim Holtz one if it'll work. I truly don't know what I want to do for the front cover design. I did pull some pieces out that were kind of greens and browns and a little bit of blue. So yeah, I guess I do know what I'm gonna do because I'm gluing it down. I guess I cut out the part where I was trying I did try that Snowflake fabric again, but you could still see a little bit of red in that very middle of the spine. So I didn't want to use that. So I guess that made my decision for me. I'm making sure to be careful about how much glue I'm putting down, because this Fabri-Tac, if you put too much glue down, especially on these cotton fabrics or thinner fabrics like this, it will show through. And yeah, it does seep through and kind of makes a little bit of a hard spot on the fabric. So you can see I'm kind of using my finger to even out the glue a little bit so I don't have big globs of glue. It really works well to do this. It makes your finger kind of messy. If you don't like that, you can use a tool of some kind, but I don't mind using my finger for this. I just make sure not to, like when I'm doing this stuff, I keep my one finger up and away from everything else so I don't get glue everywhere, but and constantly cleaning my fingers. But I don't know, something about this cover though, it was not holding on to that fabric, so I did have to re-glue it in a few places, and unfortunately I didn't pay close enough attention there, and I got a little bit of glue outside of where the fabric was. So I originally wasn't planning to decorate the back cover, but making that mistake kind of changed that whole thing. So now I'm going back to, I had gone through these already and made mental notes of a couple of pieces that I thought could work if I wanted to use them. And so that's what this one is here. I did really like that journaling card. I almost used it for the front cover, but the other one won out instead. Yeah, using the layers from, I guess it's called Noel, from Tim Holtz, from probably at least a year ago, if not longer. Yeah, that glue is just really not holding very well. So I'm gonna have to pay attention to that for sure as I'm using this journal, and make sure. It might be just something where it needs to sit for a bit and like really set, and I didn't give that time to it just now, and hopefully that's the problem. But yeah, I'll let you know if it is something else, but I guess be aware of that. So all right, so just yeah, preparing these two pieces, adding some ink around the outside edges, and then it's going to be a really simple collage. I'll just glue these down, and then decided to, I had another mess up at the top there. You saw me trying to rub away some of that glue, so I'll have to cover that with something else. So we'll work on that in just a second. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's really a fun little Christmassy background, I guess, on the back of the cover. So all right, now up here, I had this one little piece of the ribbon left over, so of course I want to use that somewhere. And then this is some trim. It's a ribbon trim that I bought, and then I did some sewing, a decorative stitch from my sewing machine over the top of it. And I just did that on a few different pieces in a few different colors, and they're really great for this type of situation, just adding to journals here and there. Super thin and easy to add, and they cover a lot of mistakes. So perfectly covering that mistake right there. And then I'll go ahead and add this other little trim at the top somehow, and yeah, kind of tying in the whole color scheme, I suppose, with that rusty color from the spine, with this mustard color here from the trim. Okay, now it's time for the front of the book. Just letting you know, I pulled these out of that Tim Holtz set of ephemera. I really wanted to use this green paper somewhere in the journal, and most of it ended up on the cover, which I absolutely love. It's a gorgeous piece. It's a gorgeous color, and I was able to make sure and get the main portion of what little design I suppose there is on the very left side, and not cover that up completely, which was nice. Yeah, gotta do a little more gluing. I haven't had to do that, and I'll be honest, I've been working on this journal for the last few days, trying to finish up some of the prompts, and I haven't needed to do this again since filming this video, so I'm hoping I took care of it all, and what I said before about it setting up completely is true. I think that's just what the problem was, really. And then also obviously adding this paper on top of it really does help kind of sandwich it all together, so it doesn't have as much of an easy time of pulling away from the book cover. And yeah, so just adding that paper, and I'll be honest, I did think about doing some matte gel medium or something over the top of all this paper and everything. I've done that in the past, and I've not done it in the past, and for me, it's not like I'm going to be pulling this out and using it every single day. I've obviously done all the work in it already for the most part, and so the wear and tear is not really going to be there. I didn't feel like it really needed the protection of the matte gel medium. I guess for time, like over time, you would probably want to do that. But it's a mess, I find, and I really don't always like the end product using that, because you inevitably get brush strokes and other things that I don't really like. So yeah, I chose not to do it on this one. As you saw there, I was really struggling with the collage and how to arrange the pieces that I pulled out. I cut away from that, and I actually cut out a lot of the time that I spent. I spent too much time playing around with different variations, and I did take this little break to do my title, and I thought too, adding my title here would help me kind of figure out the final placement, because I was trying not to cover up too much of that tag, so because I wasn't sure where my words were going to be. But now that that's done, I can very obviously see where I can cover up if I need to or not. So yeah, this one was tricky. There were a lot of things going on in my mind. In the end, this is pretty much how I ended up doing it. And so right now I'm just kind of tacking these pieces down so they won't move around anymore, and then I will glue the whole thing together better. But this is a really fun trick to putting a collage together if you've got things set and you're not sure if you can remember how you did that. Again, and it's only like a couple of pieces like this. This is a really good way to make sure you keep it the way that it is. So yeah, there were a couple of things I wanted to do on this collage. On the very back piece, it's a recipe, and I wanted to show kind of enough of that to show that it's a Christmas recipe and all that. I don't know. I think I was overthinking it a bit. What? That never happens. Happens all the time. And just, yeah, the rest of it wasn't really working great. I was trying not to cover too much of the background piece, but in the end I did. It's fine. I shouldn't say it like that. I love how this turned out. It's really cool. I'm very happy with it. There is one thing that I'm going to do. I will add again though later. And this, I wasn't thinking about it then, but as I've been working in the journal a little bit more, there's one other thing that I wanted to get on this journal somehow. And I think I have a really good way of doing that on the cover. So I will come back to this at some point before the end of the series is fully done. But yeah, I had pulled out these Tim Holtz rub-ons, and I thought I wanted to use them, but in the end I thought, well, no, I think there's already enough going on. I don't know that they're going to really help. And so I just put those away and called it good on this one. So there you go, guys. That is my broken apart and re-put together cover and then decorated. And yeah, I hope you had a good time watching it. And hopefully if you have this problem, this helped you with your solution of it. And I'd love to hear about if you've encountered this or if you've done something like this. Let me know. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.